In 2015, we left the rat race and went to the farm. We bought a 100-year-old farmhouse and 9 acres. After 3 years of extensive renovations, we can finally call ourselves College Hill Farm. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Today, we're talking about storing sweet potatoes. Yesterday, or well, it wasn't yesterday, it was a little while ago, but as far as the video goes, it was yesterday. I harvested our sweet potatoes. Now, I didn't get done till later in the afternoon. It's like 4 o'clock. So our sweet potatoes haven't had time enough to dry like they ought to. So they'll have to wait and dry some more tomorrow. But let me show you what we've got here. Here are our sweet potatoes. For reference, just to give you an idea, that is a 12 by 16 tarp. Now what you want to do, you see some of them look really wet and some look a lot drier. The drier ones I harvested earlier in the day, and the wet ones, just a few minutes ago I brought them up here and dumped them out. So these have to dry thoroughly before I can put them up. So the first thing has to happen is I'll let these dry for a while, and then I'll pile them all up together and cover them with a couple of blankets. It's going to be in the 30s tonight. It's not going to be 32, but it's going to be in the 30s. So that's where we'll start, and then I'll show you the rest of the process tomorrow. The potatoes are good and dry. I'm going to take a 8 by 10 tarp. Maybe this is 6 by 8, I don't know. But I'm going to take this tarp and put about half of these potatoes on it, because I don't want to load them one at a time into the tractor. And I can't pick up all of these at once. I'm going to weigh them when I take them in the basement to get an idea of how many there really are. I made some pretty big numbers yesterday, but I just don't think that they were that weigh that much. I think once I get the dirt off and that kind of stuff, they'll weigh a lot less. But I'm going to spread this tarp out and put about half of these on this smaller tarp. All right, I'm going to move you. That's it. Oh, you. It's hard work. But it's a lot better than picking them up one at a time. Okay. Are you still with me? I'm going to try and get all of these into the tractor bucket. That's a lot better than picking them up one at a time. But of course, there's so many I can't lift them. That beats the crap out of picking them up one at a time. Here we are at the kitchen porch. Now what's going to happen here is I'm going to go through these sweet potatoes, and I want to knock off any heavy dirt, any heavily damaged sweet potatoes. I want to put them somewhere else. This one's alright. It's got a few places, but they've healed over real good, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm going to knock off excess dirt though. And I'll go through and sort all of these sweet potatoes. And once I see that one's in pretty bad shape. So this is where mice, voles have been at it. So I think I'm going to set this one off to the side. That one will probably be okay. We'll eat it first. Alright, now I'll get at this and then I'll come back to you. Alright, here they are, the first 4 5-gallon buckets. You'll see some potatoes over there laying on the ground. Well, what I do with those are have had mice bites on them. I'll put all those in a pot of boiling water and feed them to the chickens. And I still got plenty of potatoes. There's more up on the hill, so there's still plenty of potatoes to go. But before I can get these out of the basement, or get these in the basement, I have to get the leftovers from last year out of the basement. Let's go have a look at those. Okay, here are the potatoes out of the basement. They are in pretty good shape. Some are not, but most are like this one. See, that potato's still just absolutely fine. It could still be eaten. There's not a problem with that. There's probably, about 140 pounds, between 120 and 140 pounds of sweet potatoes here from last year. I'll wind up giving those away or composting them or something. So I'll show you what I do with the new ones for this year. Alright, here we are in the basement. This is my method of storing sweet potatoes. All it is 3 doors. They've been mounted on wooden legs, and I lay the sweet potatoes out on top of them. And I spread them out, so that they're not touching. And then once, I'll bring you over here so you can get a better look. I know it's a little dark down here, but that's the way the basement's supposed to be. Oh. There they are. And I spread them out such that they don't touch. And then I've got 3 levels here. So when I get these done, get these all brought down, I'll bring you back and let you see what we got. Nowhere on the internet does it tell you, of course I'm hauling these buckets up and down the stairs, so it doesn't tell you how much a 5-gallon bucket of sweet potatoes weighs. Nowhere on the internet. So I'm going to show you what a 5-gallon bucket of sweet potatoes weigh. There's a scale. We get it, come on. There we go, the scale's on. Now I'm going to put this 5-gallon bucket of sweet potatoes on here, and 22.8 pounds is what that 5-gallon bucket of sweet potatoes weighs. So depending on how full you make your bucket, it's going to weigh somewhere between 20 and 25 pounds. Okay, there we go. All the sweet potatoes are in. Okay, all the sweet potatoes are in the basement. You saw them. Let's do a little final calculating here. There were 11 5-gallon buckets I brought in the basement. So that wound up being 11 times 20 is 220 pounds of sweet potatoes in the basement. There were 4 buckets, well, 3.5 of potatoes that had mice bites on them or They were tore up too bad from the plow. So that was another 45 pounds or so. So we're looking at, I had a total of about 270 pounds of potatoes total. I probably had 100 pounds of dirt because it was so wet when I dug them. But they're all in the basement. Those potatoes will keep for a year. I've even kept them for 2 years. So that's if we do the math, the sets didn't cost me anything. I used the potatoes from the year before. I used about $4 worth of fertilizer, $2 or $3 maybe worth of diesel fuel in the tractor, cultivating them and that kind of thing, and digging them. Let's say $10. So for $10 I got 220 pounds of potatoes. Also, that 45 pounds of potatoes that were left over, that were bad, that were mouse bid or whatever, those aren't going to waste. I'll boil those and feed them to the girls for a warm treat this winter. So, okay, on to the next thing. I'd like to thank you for visiting with us at College Hill Farm today. I hope you found our videos entertaining and or informative. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment on both Facebook and YouTube. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.